nerderotic.com.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Welcome, everyone, to the Nerdrotic Nooner. My name is Gary Beekler, and I come to you from nerdrotic.com, and I am live in San Diego, California, and we have a lot to talk about today. I was recording a video all morning, and usually I don't like to stop in the middle of it, but we didn't do a Nerdrotic Nooner on Monday. We had to do one today because of all the things we're going to cover. So I'm going to cover some of that stuff that I was and am still going to cover in that video, which probably will just be out tonight. I'm going to screw it. I'm going to put it out tonight because I don't give a damn about the algorithm anymore. So today, I don't know. I haven't talked to One America News Network about the interview today, but supposedly it's supposed to pop up sometime. I don't know when, and when it does, I will let you know. I don't know if I can put it in my video. I got to ask first, but yes, I was on One America News Network. I went there last Monday to do an interview concerning California, concerning Gavin Newsom, our illustrious chairman, and my wife's business and, what we're currently going through right now. And, the story doesn't get old for me. While people have moved on, salons are opening, but we're starting to head towards another lockdown again. We're seeing this ridiculousness, this hypocrisy going on. And I flipped my shit when I saw that Hollywood is essential. Hollywood is considered essential over my wife, yours truly, a church, a gym, a coffee shop, a restaurant. Pretend, make believe. So that's going to go into that video. And we also got what I suspect we're going to get from some in Hollywood, an olive branch. Olive branches all around because we got what we wanted. Now, nothing has been decided as far as the election is concerned. Now, don't ask the mainstream media that, but to me, nothing has been decided. I doubt you guys think so either. And when it is, it is. But Hollywood certainly thinks that their guy is going to be president. So they're starting to, we were just playing a part. You see, you don't understand. This was the most important election of our lifetime, at least until the next election. We didn't really mean you guys were those dudes who used to run around in pointy hats with white robes. We really didn't think you were Yahtzees. We were just being hyperbolic. You see, we're fighting evil. At least that's what they thought. So while they were trying to convince us that there was a white supremacist around every corner, while they were rooting on the rioting and looting, while they were bailing out the rioters and looters, while they were saying things like no more white comfort, they want to extend an olive branch. Now, strangely, that olive branch looks like a middle finger. And it feels like one. And I've said this in previous live streams. I figured something like this would happen. Of course, everyone in Hollywood is a pretender in life. And when the camera is on and when they go off script, they don't do the human thing very well. And they don't really understand the damage they had done because they just thought it was another show. They were putting on a performance because that's all these people do at all times. And well, this one actually had ramifications. This one has consequences. So while your theaters are shut down and you're losing billions every week, none of us are going to feel that bad for it. There would have been a time we would have probably rooted for you guys. We probably would have said, hey, maybe you should be working because entertainment is going to be necessary while we're locked down. But I am having a very hard time separating you from Sacramento and from Washington, D.C. And I think a lot of other people are too. So after your act of the last 4 years, which could still continue depending on how things are going down. And I definitely do not believe that you would be extending this olive branch, Alyssa Milano, if things were the other way. Welcome, everybody, but we're going to go right to this. We're going to go right to Alyssa Milano, who isn't even an adult pretender anymore. I mean, she is like in full time. She's a full-time adult pretender, but nobody actually pays her to read scripts and perform anymore because in the very inclusive Hollywood, when a female actress turns 40, she's done. Or she'll play an aunt or some historical biopic, but that's about it. Alyssa Milano extends olive branch to Trump supporters after years of smears from those guys in white robes to misogynist bigots. This goes well beyond Trump supporters, well beyond that. I talk to people in my member streams every week. I talk to you guys here on live streams, talk to people in real life. It's more than Trump supporters who feel alienated, offended. For example, there's a guy called Just Some Guy who was ended up on lists. He has been called a white supremacist, and he's not white. That doesn't, he's been called that by people like Mark Waid, the former writer for Marvel Comics. I don't know where he is now. We will be talking about Marvel Comics a little bit today too. But I wanted to start out with this because I was in the middle of this with my video. It was just a couple of months ago that Alyssa Milano was calling for Republicans to be tried for treason. And now, just weeks removed from the election and after years of smears and attacks, the left-wing activist and actor is ready to extend an olive branch to Trump supporters. I'm ready to hashtag forward together, Alyssa Milano said in a tweet on Tuesday, echoing language used earlier by Joe Biden. Joe Biden, come on, man. There's so much work to do to heal the nation. Wow. Well, you guys put a lot of work into dividing it, and that work is going on right now. And there were, I don't know, hundreds of YouTubers and thousands of people in their live streams, all of us together in unison saying, Hollywood, we really want to keep giving you money. We enjoy what you do, but you're pissing us off. You're filling our shows that we have supported for decades, and you have a bunch of newbies and posers coming along and turning them into their personal political platforms like Alex Kurtzman. By the way, CBS Viacom, which owns Star Trek Discovery, was put on blast by David Chappelle. It was a beautiful thing and shown for the hypocrites that they are, and we'll get to that later too. So I saw our friend Josiah's video, so go check it out. It's great. And I echo his sentiments. This was roundly rejected, as it should have been. And this shows the lack of self-awareness they really have, because they are in their gated communities, in their mansions, surrounded by walls, by the way, lots of walls around their mansions. And they really are disconnected from the common, for years now. And that divide is getting wider and wider. They have no idea what they're talking about. Ricky Gervais had it right. They have no idea how the real world works. They don't have any idea how much actual suffering there is going on, especially with small business. And they have no idea the ramifications this is going to have on their industry, which was once thought to be depression proof. Well, it survived the depression because of movie theaters. Now, streaming services are going to be Hollywood's future, and none of them, save for Netflix and Amazon, are going to be profitable for years. So we're starting to see things get canceled, and this olive branch was extended by a useful idiot named Alyssa Milano. And we're going to see Hollywood and certain powers that be separate themselves from the useful idiots in the coming months if things go down the way Hollywood wants them to go down. Useful idiots like, I don't know, SyFy Girls, the Mary Sue, rioters, looters, people they were rooting on, but now they want to distance themselves from. You know, Alyssa Milano was calling to defund the police not that long ago. And all of a sudden, they're starting to separate themselves. What did Bill Maher say when he was calling out the Democrats a couple of weeks ago? He told them to stop saying defund the police. Well, Bill, you weren't saying that earlier. So you were rooting that stuff on. But now, when you know it's bad optics, you're like, ooh, the polling's bad on that one. Maybe we should stop saying it. We're not going to forget this stuff. This wasn't like a regular election, obviously, because of the coup and the rioting and looting. And now the consequences are going to last for years. So you're going to have to put as much work into rebuilding this relationship as you put into destroying it. And it's still not going to entirely work. Hollywood, newsflash, people are pissed at you. And I don't know if you can repair it. And in your arrogance, because you were coming off probably the greatest economy you've ever seen, Disney was carrying you for a while as far as the theaters are concerned, and now you want everything to be okay. Well, if you want it to be okay, with a lot of us, it's going to take a lot of work, and with some of us, it'll never be enough. And I don't blame anybody. And it's going to be really tough to talk about pop culture. I'll have to focus on the ones who didn't go out there. And I know not everyone was out there dividing, but this is, reality is perception sometimes. And the perception of Hollywood is it's very pro defund the police. It's very pro rioting and looting by a lot of people. More than 70 million, I dare say. Like I said, in my members' streams, I talk to people who supported Trump, who did not support Trump, echoing the same thing. We're tired of this shit, Hollywood and mainstream media. And again, it's hard to tell the difference between any of you now. So I wanted to get that one off my chest. No. The answer is no. I would work on that olive branch, work on that apology, moving forward without an apology, moving forward without acknowledgement of what you have done isn't going to work. Let's see who's here. What's up, Vigilante Williamson? How you doing? Good to see you. Radical Greek, Infected Goat 666, Joseph Cami, and Jaroslev. Oh, I'm going to mess up your last name now. I messed up your first name, so I might as well mess up your last name. Zaruba. How you doing? Donnie Pearson, Sandra Feliciano, a man of no consequence. Dakota Dad, Guillermo Torres, Propaganda Limited, Big Daddy MRI -5257, XenoWorks, Lethan Lund, and Christopher Mills. And I think I saw Father Christopher Miller in there. I'll try to keep taking the Lord's name in vain down. Clone Gary Beekler says, I blame you, Gary. I blame myself too for a lot of things. As I've always said to Hollywood, don't listen to me. You don't have to listen to me. Just don't listen to them. Unfortunately, you listen to them. And then, well, I mean, we're seeing a lot of consequences happen. I mean, we're going to talk about the SyFy girls. I call them SyFy girls, the fake geek girls who are actually, political activists who have wormed their way into nerddom and utterly destroyed it And we went over on last Friday Night Tights the game plan for, I don't know how old that paper was, but it essentially was, it was from Titty. The acronym is Titty. And it was basically what you can and can't write about. And it's something we suspected, which was being passed around in Hollywood, and it was. And we see that stories, I don't know how you tell a superhero story. I don't know how you tell a Star Wars story. And you definitely cannot tell a Star Trek story with intersectional feminism as your priority. They are diametrically opposed. I know. I come here with the breaking news and the hot takes, but it's true. Burn Hollywood Burn, says the Storm. Chris Persia, thank you for being here with your wrench. Welcome, Nicholas Horton. Eric K, what's up? What's up? Ooh, man. It's been quite a couple of weeks around this household, and seeing articles like that just I bought a punching bag. I had one up in San Francisco, and it came in handy, and I just ordered another one, probably because I'm going to have to build a gym at my house. Like, I've got money to do that. What's so lame is they have these restrictions here, right? And I've said it before. When I went inside my gym, I wasn't within 10 feet of anybody at any time ever. It was when me and my son would walk in. I'd get him on his machine, get him going. We'd clean it down. I'd clean my machine down. And the way they had it set up, we weren't near each other. Now they put it outside in the back, and I'm like right next to people. So, and I'm glad they're open, and I'm not too worried about it. But because, what happens, but I'm clean. As far as, I wash down my machines like I work there. I wash my hands all the time, but I did that anyway. I always thought that the gym could be a nasty place. A lot of people touching things, and I'm not like some crazy germaphobe or anything, but I like to be clean, and I'm sure you do too. There's Father Christopher Miller. Welcome, sir. So much has happened since we last live stream. So yeah, here's this, Governor Gavin, and Eric July did a great video on this too. Governor Gavin Newsom exempts entertainment industry workers from new COOF restrictions. Now, how does that relate to the olive branch? Well, I'm going to discuss it in my video, but these things are connected. They're absolutely connected. So Gavin Newsom shut down Disneyland, shut down the theaters. He had to. I'm sure he'd love to open them and, keep all the small businesses closed to appease his little pals in Hollywood who help prop him up and put him in there. But he can't because the optics are bad. So his olive branch to Hollywood was to make them essential when they weren't essential last time. I have a question. In Hollywood, there's a thing called hair and makeup, right? You put on prosthetics, you put makeup on. This is people touching other people. That is one of the biggest arguments against the salons back in the day. People touching other people. Now, they had a whole system set up for the salons for them, to have their gloves on, masks, guards and everything. We were ready to do it. And my wife is a licensed professional in what she does. But she couldn't do it back then. And Hollywood was not considered essential the first time, but they are now. Well, they are now because supposedly they have these very strict guidelines and a whole new industry is built up. And, I love capitalism too. That's going to make a lot of money. And it's going to be your COOF advisor, basically. They're going to be on the set. And they're going to make sure you're, practicing social distancing. They're going to listen to your complaints when actors whine and cry about stuff because they're dramatic people. So that makes it okay. But you're still doing hair and makeup, right? I mean, you're still putting wigs on. You're still putting on prosthetics for, especially genre shows, little hobbits. No, there's not going to be any hobbits in the Lord of the Rings show, but elves are going to get elf ears, and that's going to be put on by somebody else. And whatever goes on in Hollywood, the same thing's going to happen. I don't entirely see the difference. And that's the first question my wife asked and many others when they heard this. A lot of people are pissed about this. So Hollywood maybe, I doubt it, but maybe they recognize that, ooh, this is going to people are mad at us already, but they're going to be really mad if they're sitting at home and they're forced to watch our garbage and we're flaunting that we can go to work. So the millionaires are deemed by the billionaires that they can work. Now, Gavin Newsom's not a billionaire, but he's run by them. And you know who wins? Amazon. And I've been, everybody's a fan of Amazon. Everybody's been a fan of Amazon. But we're seeing the biggest transfer of wealth in our history. Amazon has made upwards of $90 billion more during the coup. They're up, way up. And not far behind is, this platform, Google, YouTube. They have benefited greatly. Do you know how much small business has lost in total? And Denise, thank you for sending me that. I appreciate it. $200 billion estimated, and that's probably pretty low. $200 billion out of our economy forever. And that's the true spirit of America, is the entrepreneurial spirit. That's what America is. It's not Amazon. It's not Netflix. I don't know what the hell that is. But they're going to be fine. I guess the only thing we can take enjoyment in is CBS, Viacom, places like this. They're going to end up getting crushed. And nobody's going to feel bad because they were, TV networks. Those are dying out. Movie theaters are probably dead at this point, thanks to Wonder Woman, believe it or not. So Governor Gavin Newsom, Clownifornia. The D is for douchebag, I'm convinced. On Thursday, announced a new round of stay-at-home orders for the Golden Shower State, which states that non-essential work, movement, and gatherings stop between 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. because the COOF knows what time it is. In counties in the purple tier, nearly every county in California is currently in the purple tier, accounting for 94% of the state's population. Deadline reported that Newsom's office said Thursday that the order would not apply to workers in the entertainment industry. That's right. Pretend make-believe is more important than you. Saying those workers were deemed essential. Now, let's talk about this word essential. Carrie Smith talked about possibly getting through to SJWs, NPCs on an emotional level. A lot of us try to bring up, listen, my opinions backed up by some facts. And also I speculate a lot, but I understand what she was saying. And it's not something a lot of, not every dude can do. She was great, by the way. We're going to have her back. So I'm going to try to relate on a personal level. And this is no different than what Dave Chappelle did with Netflix recently. Dave Chappelle found out that the Chappelle Show was streaming on Netflix. And we find out that Dave Chappelle's not making a penny off it. Although he did sign the contract, as he puts it. Yeah, I signed the contract, but is it right? And the answer is no. So he called Netflix and he goes, "This makes me feel bad." And Netflix pulled the show. And we'll go over that entire article and we'll listen to some of what he had to say, because no matter how you feel about the guy politically, I still have a lot of respect for Dave Chappelle. I think that guy is a great comedian. I don't think he's fake at all. There's nothing fake about that dude. And I appreciate that. And he really does love his audience and his fans and shows a lot of respect for him. And that's why I have respect for him. So he said, he made it real simple. He said, "This makes me feel bad." Well, Governor Gavin Newsom, not that he's going to care. It makes us feel bad when we see Hollywood pretenders who make millions of dollars, who are going to be just okay, getting to go do what they want to do while we wonder what the hell we're going to do with our lives. And I bet that there's a lot of people who feel the same way. Now, does Gavin Newsom care about anything other than himself? No. This guy's a raging narcissist, always has been. Look at that hair. The original order included a list of essential critical infrastructure workers to help state, local, tribal, and industrial partners as they work to protect communities while ensuring continuity of functions critical to public health and safety, as well as economic and national security. That was a big word salad of bullshit. On the list of exemptions under industrial, commercial, residential, and sheltering facilities and services, there is Essential Worker Designation 15, which reads, man, that doesn't sound ominous. Essential Worker Designation 15, as issued by the state, workers supporting the entertainment industry, studios, and other related establishments they follow COOF public health guidance around physical distancing. The guidance does indicate this exemption only applies if remote work is not possible, but with the film and TV production, it often is not. Film and TV production employees were not included on the essential workers list during the first California shutdown in March. Their addition to the list speaks to the success and strong protocols on set since then. The document was last updated on September 22nd. And I will echo what the Daily Wire says here. I want them to go to work. Go to work. I want everybody to go to work. I think if Hollywood can follow restrictions and you allow them to go to work, then I think you can do the same for everyone else. Now, that's still happening to some extent. I'm talking mainly about restaurants. That industry has been decimated. And gyms, which I would argue is more essential than Hollywood. I think our health is more essential than pretend. That's just me. I got to give credit to my gym, which is 24-hour fitness. They have frozen everyone's account. And what they did was they waited for you to come back into this one gym where it's outside, and then you reactivate it real quick. So they're not charging anybody while this is going on. And I think a lot of people, if you want to keep getting charged, you have to let them know. I think that's very honorable for a company to do that. I would personally still support them, even if I couldn't go, because I can. Not everybody can do that, though. Not everybody can do that. So Hollywood's going to be essential, and we're not. And I mean, this is just, as Eric July put it, this is the big old club. You and I aren't invited. George Carlin said that before, too. And if it's hard to take government officials seriously, especially when they start, well, we're just following the science. Science is biased. Science is political. Science is partisan. So sorry, I don't buy that as an excuse. I'd like to. It's not like I don't deny science exists. It's a real thing. And it's often theoretical, but no, I want there to be. My wish would be we have a nice, safe vaccine that cures everyone. But I was reading an article to my member stream. I'm not going to look it up, but it was from the LA Times last week. And one of the officials in from the LA government said, "This is not a time to be questioning government officials." Whew. Hearing something like that. No, this is a time to be questioning government officials. It's okay to do that. And if they start suppressing simple questioning, simple speculation, then we have some real problems on our hand, not like we don't have real problems on our hands right now. So we'll see how, I mean, maybe people are completely okay with this. And there would have been a time, again, I would have been fine with it if they were actually entertaining us and not edutating us. And that's going to be the big question going forward. How much are you willing to take? How much am I willing to take? How much are we willing to take? Billionaires helping millionaires, while the rest of us, especially business owners, worry about our jobs, worry about tomorrow. Things these people generally don't have to worry about. And when I mean these people, I mean the elite. And I use the term people very loosely. Very loosely. Oh, all right. We are going to talk about, I'm going to get to a few of your questions here, and then we're going to talk about The Expanse. We're going to go into pop culture a little bit, but if you want to keep talking about this is fine. I will save the rest for my video. And yeah, and if I find out that interview pops up, and if I'm like if it's somewhere where I can show it, I will. I just don't know if that is going to happen or not. But it's supposed to come out today. I have a few opinions on The Expanse and the giant mistake they made. And I figured season 5 or 6 would be its last, and it will. I don't know how they're going to end the show. Personally, they were headed towards a direction that they're now going to have to rush it, and I don't know how good it's going to be. Mikey Gussler for $10. Dion from World Class Bullshitter said Snyder and his fans don't care about DC characters. Claims Joss Whedon saved Justice League and DC films, and that we would physically assault him. Claims Joss saved Justice League and DC films, and that we would physically assault him. Before you say it's his opinion, opinions can be wrong. Oh, yeah. I mean, Mikey, it's his opinion, and it can be wrong. It could be very wrong, and I would disagree with that. Mikey's next super chat for $5. Yeah, Joss saved Justice League, even though Ray Fisher and Jason Momoa claim they were verbally abused, sent Ben Affleck into rehab and turned it into a flop. And then the next one for $5. Yeah, Snyder doesn't care about the characters, even though he has an outline for all of them and says Cyborg is the heart of the Justice League. Oh yeah, fans don't care, even though they spent years and held fundraisers for suicide prevention to get the Snyder Cut released. It's okay to say I don't like the movies, but saying things that aren't true and lies being made about Snyder and his fans is disingenuous. And then it says, wow, a lot of super chats here, Mikey. I hope Snyder does get to do more DC products just so I can see these people squirm. Do they forget J.J. Abrams could make these films? They want him. Is JJ going to stream with fans with little subscribers and people who have been in the movement since the beginning? No. Name one he's doing it. Oh, and he won't be doing it. Hell no. Sorry to go on a rant, Gary. I'm very passionate and the lies make me upset. I hope you and your family have a good Thanksgiving. Thank you. Again, I've talked to Dion on live streams, and I think Dion's a nice guy. I think he's wrong. I think he probably has a perception of the Snyder Cut fans from outside, not actually seeing a lot of that stuff. And listen, all fans can be salty, and that's why it's not good to paint them with a broad brush. Snyder Cut fans are passionate. I'll say that. And they won. You got a Snyder Cut. So don't worry about it. Don't worry what Dion says. Dion's going to say what he's going to say, and he has a right to say it. And you can disagree, but if you love it, you love it. Now, saying that people would physically assault other people, I don't think so. I don't think so. Joss Whedon didn't save anything. I used to be a big fan of Joss Whedon. I did. Love Buffy and Angel. Freaking still love him. He's a maniac. And I think he lost it a long time ago when he was exposed as being one of those male feminists who is a creeper, because they tend to always be. It's amazing how that happens. But as far as the Snyder Cut is concerned, I hope we get all of it, because I've always liked Zack Snyder. I've always been a fan, been a big fan. And while I wasn't the biggest fan of Superman and Batman and stuff, I didn't hate them. I own them. Because I'm a superhero fan. And you know what? His stuff isn't filled with a bunch of identity politics and intersectional feminism. And that's why I walked out of Aquaman liking it. I'm like, this wasn't the greatest movie ever made, but my God, it didn't preach to me. Now, unfortunately, Amber Turd's in it. But yeah, Mikey, you know what? I would say, Mikey, focus on the positivity from the Snyder Cut fans. They raised a ton of money for suicide prevention through the tragedy of what happened to Zack Snyder's daughter. And don't forget that Warner Brothers, the previous regime, were the assholes who hired Joss Whedon and threw Zack Snyder under the bus after his daughter deleted herself. That's horrific. And that's Hollywood. Dave Chappelle said it. We're going to hear him say it again. Hollywood is filled with monsters, absolute monsters. And these people have been getting on their soapboxes and telling us what to do. I mean, Joss Whedon is just one of many, many, many. You know, we have, what was it? Zach Levi offered an olive branch and he got killed for it. And Chris Pratt simply doesn't want to talk about his politics. He gets killed for it. Gina Carano, you know, with a little wink, throws up a couple of memes. You might know what she thinks, but we don't know exactly, but it's not enough to get her fired from a show. And then we got people, you know, running campaigns to this very second to try to get her fired. Hollywood is filled with a bunch of very bad people, people who, and I hate to use that, bad people. I like to put it as unwell, people who need some help. Like, seriously, there's just a lot of people out there who are insecure, who don't feel very comfortable in their own skin, and they need to lash out at anything and anyone to make themselves feel better for a second. Healthy people don't try to get other people fired. I don't want to get anybody fired. I didn't want Pedro Pascal fired. I didn't want Roseanne Barr fired. I don't want anybody. I want people to, you know, be allowed to make mistakes. Now, there are exceptions, of course. Brian Singer. Svi Lebekin, what's up? Thank you for the super sticker. Hey, you, what's up, dude? I had to reschedule my Fury of the Huvians live stream for Saturday because of the interview on Monday. So hopefully you can join us. But Mikey, man, keep that passion, brother. They need fans like you. I know you love the Snyder Cut and shit. I'm probably going to break it open and watch it again. I like Man of Steel. Nicholas Horton for £5. Hail, Gary. How much more of the Expanse models can they, novels, can they adapt into the 6th and final season? I don't know. You need to introduce Admiral Duarte, and you needed to do that. If they do it this season, I think they could skip. If they skip novels 6, 7, and 8 completely and just go to from 5 to 9, I think it'll work. In the novels, there's a ridiculous time jump. I won't tell you how long, but it's ridiculous. And it ruined the story, so it might turn out better. But the thing is, they're going to have to rush it. And, you know, the 5th novel is worthy of 2 seasons. They made a huge mistake. They didn't listen to me, yours truly, and Doomcock. We were both constantly backing up this show, recommending this show. It's the best sci-fi show. Star Trek Discovery is garbage. Doctor Who is garbage. The Expanse is good. The Expanse is a real sci-fi show that doesn't put diversity or inclusivity first. It fucking is a good show. Now, the authors of the book are raging SJWs, and I don't follow them on Twitter. But in their books, for the most part, at least until 2016, they kept a lot of that shit out of there. One of the things about the show is it's extremely critical of the UN. So before our adventure starts, there was a cataclysm on Earth. This takes place, obviously, 300 years in the future. Actually, the same place, but around the same time Star Trek, the original series, takes place. 23, the year 2300, something like that. And there was a cataclysm on Earth or some environmental disaster. So the UN basically took over the planet and united the planet. But the planet's miserable. Like half the planet's on a thing called universal basic income. Does that sound familiar? And it's not painted as a pretty picture at all. It's actually, it really shows how this robs a man and a woman of their worth, of their meaning. And a lot of people just sit around and watch TV, and society is crumbling. So the only things in power are massive, giant corporations and the military. And then the military broke off to Mars. And yeah, that's why it's an interesting story, because they really ponder stuff like this without a partisan lens. Now it shows through a little bit sometimes, but it's true sci-fi. It's true sci-fi. And it's a show I loved. And I think the show's better than the books because of Naren Shankar. Now, the only good news is if this frees up Naren Shankar, the showrunner, to go do, I don't know, Star Trek or something else, then wherever he goes, that show will benefit. This guy's kind of a show running genius, in my opinion. And he used to work on Farscape and he used to work on Star Trek. So whoever gets him wins. Hempty for £2. Thoughts on the rumored Predator movie? No Disney Predator. It'll be, I think, what did I put in my tweet? I'll have to find it. I'm sorry to read my own tweets here, but somebody did pop that up. And I believe I tweeted something like the Disney Predator princess. And she's going to be something like a non-binary. Here we go. Predator was I'll show you guys. Predator was an Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime film. Can't be remade in the age of intersectional Hollywood. Disney's Princess Predator. Gender-neutral Predator embarks on a personal journey to hunt for pronouns. That's what it'll be. Can't be done. Leave it alone. Predator, I'm sorry, folks, was one good movie. Predator 2 was okay, but Predator was one good movie and a great comic book series from Dark Horse. Alien versus Predator and Predator. Brilliant stories. All they had to do was adapt that, and they can't do that. See, I don't care about the humans in Predator unless it's Arnold Schwarzenegger. And what made Predator cool and different was it was an 80s action movie with sci-fi. It was cross-genre, and we didn't see a lot of cross-genre stuff back then. And it blew everybody away. And you also had somebody bigger and badder than Arnold Schwarzenegger. And freaking the most manly cast probably ever. You know, Jesse Ventura, Carl Weathers. When will Hollywood, thank you, Hempty, though. It's a good question. The answer is no. No remakes, nothing. Predator is one of my favorite all-time movies, though. I didn't go see The Predator. I watched Mahler's review, and that's all I needed to see. Nikki D for $2. When will Hollywood finally collapse? Well, it's not something I really thought would collapse, but I wouldn't call it a collapse. It's going to change owners. We are seeing Jeff Bezos and whoever runs Netflix are taking over Hollywood. And when we hear from Dave Chappelle in a little bit, you're going to find out why. Now, I'm pissed at Netflix. And I'm still pissed at Netflix. And I'm going to remain pissed at Netflix. Amazon is making a bunch of money. Is it entirely their fault that they were allowed to open and they were set up for something like this? We could get conspiratorial, but no, it's not entirely their fault. But prior to this, I fucking hated Amazon because they did target small businesses in 2012 for a little barcode scan scheme to the point where I had had 3 rules in my shop. You couldn't talk politics. You couldn't use the bathroom unless I knew you. And when Amazon came around, you couldn't use your barcode scanner in my shop because Amazon they offered some discount if you scanned your barcode. If you went to a store, scanned a barcode of a comic or a toy, they would match it, give you $5 so they could mine information. Something like that. It was many years ago. Venom Snake for $2 Australian. Qantas CEO said you will need vaccine to travel. Yes. Yeah. Yep. Show me your papers. Dave Cullen has been on top of that. Follow Dave Cullen on that. He's doing great work. Marty Coyle, welcome to the Proto Molecule membership. Yes, the Proto Molecule from the Expanse. The BBC are and thank you, Marty Cole, Nicholas Horton for £5. The BBC are very desperate to bring in John Barrowman as Captain Jack for the festive special. I called it. I mean, I didn't think he'd be coming in the festive special. I'll be that honest. I said he's going to be a companion for next season, and he'll be in probably 3 or 4 episodes. So they brought him in sooner. And he's been there. Well, did they shoot it separately again? Why are they announcing it now when they shot this episode a long time ago? Yes, they are desperate. They need ratings. The show's a complete disaster. And yeah, there's so much to talk about. I completely forgot about that, to be honest with you. But we will talk about that. Okay. Let's get to The Expanse. There we go. Do this so we can see the chat. All right. The Expanse renewed for 6th and final season by Amazon ahead of season 5 premiere. Exclusive. Amazon Studios has set an end date for The Expanse. The popular science fiction drama has received an early renewal for season 6, which will be its last, not returning for the final season is original cast member Cas Anvar. So he has been canceled, who faced a slew of sexual misconduct allegations during the summer. The rest of the cast, led by Stephen Strait and longtime Expanse showrunner Naren Shankar, will be back. Okay, my question about Cas Anvar, because I did a little looking into this, not much, and I couldn't find much, but maybe, okay, did he assault somebody or was he flirting? Was it 2020 sexual misconduct or normal human being sexual misconduct? Was he flirting and getting it on with some of the assistants? Was he being an actor? See, these are things I want to know. Was he being horrible, or was he just being, did a bunch of people just Me Too the guy? Cas Anvar is great as Alex, and he will be missed. He was instrumental in getting this show saved. He's the one who reached out to the fans. He's the one who talked to the most of the fans. So that's why I'm going to question this, because I honestly don't know. But without him, won't be the same show. The season 6 renewal comes 3 weeks before the December 16th season 5 debut on Prime Video in more than 240 countries and territories. I hear season 6 tentatively is slated to begin production January 20th, with the target start date subject to change amid fluid COOF conditions. The Alcon produced The Expanse based on James S. Corey's best-selling novels. Originally was picked up by SyFy. God, these ads. Where it was aired for 3 seasons following its cancellation in 2018. The show's army of passionate fans launched a massive Save Our Show campaign, which helped seal the deal at Amazon. The space drama's 4th season was released globally as an Amazon original series in December 2019. So one of the earliest things I did on this channel was cover The Expanse. One of my first videos that was really successful was when The Expanse got canceled. I live streamed that night, got 60,000 views on a channel with 500 subs. Blew my mind. And the Save the Expanse thing started. We were running live streams. We were trying to get, support for it. Of course, I wasn't a big channel, but I was there. Doom, we got Doomcock on board, got him watching The Expanse. And it was great to see. It was great to see a positive fan movement, get something saved. Now, was it always going to get saved behind the scenes? I believe so. I think it was just icing on the cake, whatever. It helped grow this show. Now, this show could have been immensely popular, but they made a huge mistake in season 4. So this is a show that was released weekly. It started at the same time every week so people could talk about it. And they decided to dump it all at once after a 1.5 year delay. After all the hype, these idiots, and I'm going to call you idiots, Amazon. You dropped your show on December 15th, 3 days before The Fall of Skywalker comes out, when Star Wars was taking all of the oxygen out of the pop culture air. You dropped your show all at once before fracking Star Wars. I can't tell you, during the Mandalorian's run, by the way, if you just waited a month, you might have had an argument. But I was arguing for weekly because, you know, I was talking about this with the Umbrella Academy. If a show goes out weekly, you have people talking about it for months, not for a couple of weeks. The Witcher was popular, but it would have been more popular if it was released weekly. Every show would be more popular if it was released weekly. People will bitch, people will complain, but most people will just watch it weekly and talk about it more. You'll get millions of free advertising. Free advertising, not even, well, maybe Amazon wouldn't want to pay for. I can't say can't afford. They can afford everything. They can afford my soul, although it's not very much. Let's be real. So they made a huge mistake, and that's why it's getting canceled right now. If this show was immensely popular and people were talking about it, they would not be canceling it. $1 trillion company is canceling a sci-fi show that they liked because it didn't become what it was supposed to be. And when The Boys got popular, that sealed the deal on The Expanse. That's my opinion. From the moment we committed to bringing this show to life until the final season, we have worked tirelessly to honor the vision of the writers. I think you've improved on it, Andrew. I think you've improved on it. You guys, The Expanse has always been a very positive place. This is where I got disappointed with the fans. A lot of the fans don't like my takes, and that's fine. But most of them have been pretty respectful. They know I love The Expanse, and they just kind of tune out my takes that they don't like, and that's great. I prefer that. But I was really disappointed in the Cas Anvar thing. And again, I don't know what happened, but right when it came down, before there was any evidence, they were willing to just get rid of the guy and just cut him loose. That was disappointing. And we see that all the time. It's, you know what? If a guy actually did something horrible, then by all means, fire him. Do what you need to do. If it was genuinely horrible, I mean, like he broke laws. But if it's, he flirted with a girl, gave somebody a hug or something like that. I mean, again, I have to ask these questions because that's what people have been canceled for. Warren Ellis, one of the greatest comic book writers out there, was canceled for flirting and getting laid. And they said he was using his power. Yes, Warren Ellis is not Brad Pitt. But he had a lot of ladies calling on him. Was it his looks or his stature where he was in the comic book industry? Was that his fault? I don't think so. Absolving the ladies of responsibility is insane. It's like, oh, what? Sleeping with Warren Ellis didn't make me write as good as Warren Ellis? Why not? We have prided ourselves of having one of the most diverse casts on television. This is the first time I've heard them say that in public. And giving a platform to stories that matter. Special thanks to Dan Abram and Ty Frank, the writers of both books and series, and Naren Shankar, the series showrunner and executive producer and the true genius behind the show. It continues to honor. It is continued to be an honor and a privilege to work for this team. So I don't know when season 6 is going to come out. I'm surprised. I didn't even know they were filming season 5, to be honest with you. So it's going to come out. I'm going to cover it December 15th. How do I think it's going to end? Rushed. Could they adapt? I mean, honestly, I'm not a fan of the later books. So if they skip them, I'm okay with that. But there is a big ending they're leading to, and I don't know how they get there in 2 seasons. I just don't know how you do it. There's still a big villain to introduce. And you find out, if you're aware of the show, there's a thing called the protomolecule. Well, the protomolecule is just a tool. It's not a living being. You find out what Oh, I don't want to spoil anything. You find out more about it. We'll just say that, supposedly. I'm sorry to see it go, though. And just think about this. This show has been canceled, yet we're getting more Star Trek Discovery. We get series 13 of fucking Doctor Who. They announced Obi-Wan Kenobi. Who did, by the way, I hate to sound like that guy, but, and I'm not the only one, but who said, well, if they do an Obi-Wan Kenobi series and it's got a white male lead, they're going to have to intersectionally balance it out. So he's going to have a female lead who's stronger, smarter, and, leading him around by the nose and showing him how to be a proper Jedi, to babysit a quitter. Well, so Hollywood really needs to start thinking about what the comic book industry is thinking. Now, the comic book industry had a chance to straighten itself out, but this is a carryover, right? This shows a carryover from prior to 2016 when Hollywood did look like they just wanted to make good TV shows. And now it's gone. And we're going to be left with more garbage. Is Hollywood going to come correct? I don't know. The comic book industry didn't come correct. It was faced with death. And what did the comic book industry do? The same thing it always does. Let's make a bunch of variants. Let's attack a few more fans. Let's give Vita Ayala every comic book. And let's just, destroy everything. And what happened? Marvel officially cancels several series. And that's a lot. Now, we knew they were going to do this. A freaking Ghost Rider, man. Ghost Rider can't catch a break. Well, if they write it like shit, that's usually what happens. We'll get to Chappelle in a second. I thought what he said, he told a little story about CBS Viacom, and I loved it because I hate CBS Viacom. Hey, Gary, what do you think? I read that one. It's my first time watching your live stream. Awesome background. Superman, if he wasn't scared of green rocks. I love that. Thank you for the $10. And thank you. I don't have my Christmas lights on. I'm sorry I didn't turn on my Christmas lights. I will do that next time. You have my apology because I love Christmas. I'm an agnostic who loves Christmas. I love little baby Jesus. And I love passing out gifts and hanging out with the family and sitting next to a tree and listening to freaking Christmas music. I love it all. EFAP asked me which holiday do I prefer, right? And I know it was so Mahler prefers Halloween, Rags prefers Christmas. I answered Halloween because I got married on Halloween. Why did we get married on Halloween? So I wouldn't forget my anniversary. That's why we got married on Halloween. And plus it was Halloween in Vegas and it just turned out that way. But I love both holidays. I think they're great. Dang, you as in Drinker and Disrespect are live right now, says Flicks by Cody for $2. Well, I don't stand a chance against Dr. Disrespect. I have major respect for Dr. Disrespect. As in the Drinker are live. What are they doing? Well, man, good thing I re-upload my live streams onto Nerdrotic Live so you can watch them later if you like. Please subscribe to Nerdrotic Live and Nerdrotic Daily. I'd love to get some feedback. What you guys think so far. I got a new channel and it's going to be clips from live streams edited by Perry Chan. And the videos are doing pretty good. I don't know if you guys know about it or not, but I do have a third channel. I guess we have a Nerdrotic network now. Now the focus will always be this channel. I'm working on stuff for this channel. Like I was working on it right before this live stream started. And I'm going to live stream and hopefully the Nerdrotic Nooner will go back to 2 times a week. I'm really trying to shoot for that. We've got a lot of stuff going on, but everybody does. Everybody does. Bashi Washi, welcome to the Jaloja level. We have a member stream Thursday night. Tune in after the Exozone. Gerald for $20. If the libs, SJWs, and the woke want to offer an olive branch, then sure, we'll accept it, but with conditions. And if those conditions are met, We'll issue more and more conditions. Sound familiar? Hashtag karma. Ooh, cool.
I'll eat your ass. I will. I will eat your ass.
Damn right. Damn right. Hey, you want to see instant karma, Gerald? Let's see some instant karma. Well, I'm blocked, so I don't know if anybody screen capped my tweet from yesterday. You're just gonna have to imagine, because she blocked me. I felt so special. But the young lady. Oh wait, I screen capped it, but I didn't get it all though. Okay, so we'll start. We'll just show this. Courtney Enlow. You recognize that name? Talked about her in a live stream a couple of weeks ago. I was asking what kind of a person would wake up in the morning and go, Gina Carano didn't put pronouns in her profile. I'm going to end that woman. And I'm going to go through her entire Twitter feed to see what tweets she liked. And of course, it was pointed out that she liked one of my internet son, Ryan Cannell's tweets. She's liked a couple of mine. She wished Ryan a happy birthday. She wished Drunk 3PO a happy birthday because she's cool. She interacts with her fans. By the way, Drunk 3PO, while he's a beast on Twitter, is a nice guy. Ryan Cannell isn't a nice guy, but I like him anyway. I love him dearly. No, I'm just kidding, Ryan. I know you're nice deep down inside. Really, really, really deep. So Courtney Enlow tried to get Gina Carano fired. She ran a campaign through her platform that was a platform owned by Comcast, by the way. SyFy GRRL is part of SyFy, which is owned by Comcast. Okay? An entertainment streaming network. And she used their platform to try to get somebody fired. She thought that was a good use of her time. Apparently, because I said, I don't know who has the time to do that. I hope Courtney Enlow doesn't have a bill to worry about. I hope to God she's not a mom. But apparently she is, which is shameful. And I feel sorry for her kids. I really do. Because a mom like this, what is she going to teach her daughter or her son? Well, maybe they'll be able to witness consequences through their mother. Because Courtney Enlow no longer works with SyFy GRRL. And her tweet originally said, anyway, please hire me, CourtneyEnlow.com, writer, editor, on-air host, talent, podcasting, PR, and communications. And below that, I cut it out. It says, silly bullshit. Is this how people ask for jobs? Now I'm going to sound like an old man. Cloud. Is this how people ask for jobs now? Like, I shaved my fucking beard for my interview at Tesla. I felt like an idiot then, but I really feel like because I had just gone on and go, I'm like really good at parts and stuff and silly bullshit. Totally hire me. And she'll probably get a fucking job. Courtney, I want to extend this out to you. Nerdrotic is hiring. We're hiring. Unpaid internships. You have to, but there are conditions. And these conditions will be added on over time. You have to renounce your SJWism and NPCism. You have to apologize to Gina Carano publicly every day. Every day you work here. You wake up in the morning, you apologize to Gina Carano, and you also denounce your white supremacy. You're going to have to do that too. And I might consider hiring you and training you up to teach you to possibly be talented. I'll also, if she's willing to do it, have you talk to Carrie Smith for a long time because you need to be deprogrammed, Courtney. But if you want to come over, yeah, we're definitely hiring. Sure. Unpaid intern. So I said, anyway, a girl who went through Gina Carano's tweets trying to get her fired got fired. Karma. That's karma. So the SyFy girls, here, the announcement was right here. There it is. Oh, I got a surprise for you. I'm going to tell you who's on Friday Night Tights here in a second. You're going to like it. You're going to really like it. I'm excited. I'm already excited. I'm excited every week, but I'm really excited for this one. I'm going to fangirl out a little bit. Speaking of fangirls. But here we go. SyFy girls, thank you for being a friend. Fangirls for life. Today, we're sad to say that we're ending publication from SyFy Fangirls. We're so proud of all the work we've been able to do for the past 4 years. Getting people canceled, talking about intersectionality over and over and over again, focusing on identity politics, saying things like Star Trek Discovery are good. These are crimes against imagination and humanity. Oh, I'm sorry. They didn't put that in there. We're incredibly honored to have been a space for people who otherwise don't get the space or recognition to have their voices heard. Interjection, please. Who in the fuck is owed a space in entertainment? Who's owed a fucking space? This is a business. Who's owed recognition? Your voice can be heard every day to your friends. But, I mean, who are you to go on somebody else's platform? I mean, like, listen, Comcast set this shit up. Like, what did you think was going to happen? But you aren't owed anything. You're owed jack shit. We're heartbroken. I'm not. But thankful we had the opportunity to share the best of what geek culture can be with all of you. Remember, geek like a fake geek girl. Oh, I'm sorry. Like a girl geek. For one, you're what? In your 30s and 40s. Spell girl right. For fuck's sake, spell sci-fi right. Actually, I'm glad SyFy's called SyFy now because it's no longer sci-fi. As I said below there, the new learning to code isn't an option anymore. Trade school will be, especially with the incoming economy or lack thereof it, we will need more people. We need more female representation in sanitation, in roofing, in auto mechanics, sewage treatment. These are places that I think we need a lot more female representation. And Courtney, I think you're the girl to do it. I think you can make it. Trade schools, you don't have to go for 4 years, and you don't have to get $100,000 to $200,000 in debt. And that certificate you get will probably make you more money than a bachelor's degree in bullshit studies. Just a thought. Now, I've been kicked out of 3 high schools. I did learn a trade. And it ended up paying off. Now I don't make as much money, or I didn't as a lawyer or anything. But I did okay. I was able to pay bills, buy comic books, live a life. It was great. Or sandwich making. Ichibaka said sandwich making. Now, dude, not anybody can make a sandwich. All right. My wife makes the best sandwich, period. It's not even debatable. So stop it. I hear you. Stop. You make the second best sandwich. My wife makes the best sandwich. Yellow Flash looks torn up about this. I'm really worried about him. Now, who is torn up? Gail Simone. I love Ethan's response. Oh. Trigger! Oh. That is fucking beautiful. I love Ethan. Wait, what? No. Yes. And Ethan goes, hey. Oh, Gail Simone. You're next. You're next. You know, it would be great if they did a 616 documentary on Gail Simone, like a 52 documentary, like if DC did, and they followed her around while she's watch Gail Simone during her day. Well, first I go on Twitter, and then I go eat, then I'm on Twitter, and I go for second breakfast and 11sies. Then I go back on Twitter, try to cancel somebody. I write a couple of words in a comic book and spend the rest of the day on Twitter, flicking my bean or whatever, to borrow an Az phrase. And you wonder why the comic industry is just a disaster. This might be it, folks. You know, the nerd had their 50. We had a very long 15 minutes. In the era of the geek and the era of genre television, genre film, might be over. Now, you know, Disney has announced 75,000 Star Wars shows and a bunch of Marvel shows, but we're not seeing a ton into production except for the Obi-Wan show finally. But they're going to find Disney might be able to pull it off because the way they can shoot The Mandalorian, that is pretty innovative and cool, I have to admit. But places like, you know, CBS Viacom, they're not going to be able to afford this shit much longer. And they're going to be looking into alternate forms of entertainment because they can't afford this. And I think when you see something like SyFy GRRL go under, that's just one of the first of many dominoes to fall. Useful idiots. They were fine when we had a great economy and we can give them some little section on our website to brag to our friends about in boardrooms. Nobody actually read this shit. The only thing they were good for is content on YouTube. And for that, they will be missed. They will be missed. But there's always the Mary Sue. And this was just another Mary Sue. Bye, SyFy GRRL. And Courtney, call me. Don't, really, don't. Mark C., the great Mark C., for $10. The Magical Girl Friendship Squad, an animated series on SyFy. You stick your finger in the chocolate starfish of a red panda and it sends you to another universe for adventure. This is a real show. Whoa. That goes way beyond like licking a toad or dropping some acid. Well, I mean, Mark, I can't say much. I used to eat mushrooms. You know where the magic mushrooms come from? Do you really want to know? Do you really want to know where the magic mushrooms come from? You don't really want to know where the magic mushrooms come from. Let's just say cow pasture. And I went to another world. I had a really good time. But Mark, yeah, that sounds like a modern show. Isn't there a toy out there? Yeah, because it was in the Alex Jones video I was in. There's a toy out there where if you touch the toy in its crotch, it makes a little noise. Yeah, this is... Hollywood's getting weirder and weirder by the day. And I don't mind. There's a certain type of weird I don't mind. As a matter of fact, I like. But when you start getting into creepy, and normalizing creepy stuff, that's where it's heading. So yeah, when you stick your finger into the chocolate starfish and we know what you're talking about there, into the.
I'll eat your ass. I will eat your ass.
Of a red panda. That's dark, man. Phoenix Tangent, and thanks, Mark C. It's good to see you. For $5, Yellow Flash just did a video, but it looks like Marvel is starting to cancel books, including the comic adaptation of The Fall of Skywalker. I did a video on that 1,000,000 years ago. Phoenix Tangent. Not 1,000,000 years ago, like 6 months ago. Yeah, so some of these books were going to get canceled anyway. They just made it official. And I'm very surprised to not see Snowflake and Safe Space on that list. No, but Marvel is canceling. Here they go. We were just talking about that. Marvel is canceling. They are canceling. Here we go. As the comics industry continues to grapple with the ongoing COOF pandemic and the repercussions of them being a bunch of assholes to their paying customers, creating something called Comicsgate, which is now earning certain individuals upwards of $1 million and some hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands. People are doing very well over there. And I mean, I got to say the same thing about the Access Media. If you like at comicbook.com, you are the shit site that tried to disrespect Captain America on the 4th of July by calling Steve Rogers selfish, or was that CBR? I don't know. But comic book, that might have been CBR. But comicbook.com is also owned by CBS, and you have written a lot of shit articles about Star Trek Discovery and been a shill. And I got to thank you. If you weren't such a shill, my channel probably wouldn't be that big right now. So thanks, comicbook.com. And I'm sure Ethan and Richard and John Malin get better. John Malin, by the way, John Malin has the COOF right now. So we want him to recover quickly and get back. And Cecil, who's not even going to produce a comic, he's just going to take the money and run. I'd like to thank the comic industry for creating this new independent sphere, which needed to happen anyway. Creating the new punk rock. How does it feel, Donnie Cates and Gail Simone, to be a tool of a giant corporation? You dye your hair and you try to throw out that you're punk rock when you wouldn't even fucking know what the hell you're talking about. You probably don't even know who Lux Interior is. And you come out and you say, you come out after us when you're just a little cog in their big machine. So look at all of these titles. And I don't know if they're connected to some sprawling crossover, maybe. But these are series canceled. So no more Ghost Rider. No more Doctor Strange. Morbius, which has a movie coming out. I want to see that too. I thought it looked pretty good. Silver Surfer Black director's cut. You know, I would have been interested in buying this if I didn't hate Marvel so much. If Kelly Sue DeConnick didn't exist in the comic book industry. Oh, Valkyrie Jane Foster. Wow. I'm so surprised that was canceled. So surprised. We now have a polyamorous, bisexual relationship between Wolverine, Cyclops, and Jean Grey. And yeah, I have no interest in reading that. Plus, you guys are a bunch of assholes on Twitter. And to the paying customers. Dude, if I worked in a shop still and they were that way, I mean, I wouldn't. I don't shut up about it now, but I would not shut up about it. And I don't know how I would sell the books. I'm just happy I'm not selling books. Glad I got out when I did. Woo, good thing I relapsed on coke when I did. How lucky. Well, Marvel's done. What can I say? I mean, we've been saying that it's going to be another year before it gets drawn out, but who knows? Ethan had a rumor in one of his videos where he said that DC might be shutting down publication in June of 2021. That could happen. We got a $50 super chat from Legalize Adulthood. And you didn't say, or is it just a donation? Oh, there it is. Gary, here is some thanks for you and your channel. Let's give thanks to all that we have and those we no longer, or who are no longer with us. Let's give thanks to all that they gave us while they were here. Absolutely. Thank you, my friend. Yep. A lot of us have lost a lot of close people. I lost basically my second father a couple weeks ago, and we're still kind of reeling from all that. But we got to move forward. Have fun, and call this shit out. Like my father-in-law was a staunch Trump supporter, absolute staunch Trump supporter, and he's the one who talked me into doing that One America News interview, because like I was aware of him because of the T-shirt thing. I guess the Oklahoma coach, right? Jeremy did a video on it a long time ago, and he was wearing that shirt. And he practically got canceled for it. And they're labeled as alt-right in Google. They're not. They're fucking not. So Mrs. Nerdrotic got the message initially, and she told me about it. And she's like, well, Google said it's alt-right. And I'm like, yeah, Google says I'm alt-right, honey. And she's like, that's true. So my dad, John, was over for dinner, and this was the last time we saw him. And he's like, no, you got to go on that. You got to go. You got to do that interview. So I'm like, all right, I'll do it. And it was fun. It was fun. They're down here in San Diego. Pearson's a good guy. Had a good talk with them. Hung out there for a while, and they're good people. Imperial Lumpaya, welcome to the Gandalf level. I appreciate it. We got a member stream Thursday night and Sunday morning. California, and I appreciate you being on. Thank you. Fear of FEMA for $10. California, where socialism meets corporatocracy. Yeah, it's it's fascism. It's fascism. We're seeing the blending of these two, and it's real fascism. And that's part of the whole reality is perception thing, because it's not really reality, of course. So when you have somebody out there called Antifa, when they're actually the most fascist thing out there, and I mean, we're all seeing it. It's a big show. It's a big show that we know is full of shit, yet the machine moves on because they don't really give a crap what we say. They don't care about us. They have made that clear. Gavin Newsom allowing Hollywood to be essential, that is horrific optics. And I got to say, as far as partisan politics and being partisan on this channel, I am not a partisan person. I am an independent. I vote by the issue if I care about it at all. Everybody's welcome here, but you also have to come to certain realities that here in the state of California, it's been run by one party for decades. And there's a lot of people that need to ask the question, is my life better than it was before? Has it improved? Now, I am of the belief that we are in power of our own lives, and only I can make it better or worse. But as far as the template, the state, have they provided us with everything we need? Are we safe to succeed here? Or are they always trying to stymie things like small business? Because that's the easiest way to succeed. You can go work for somebody else, work your way up the ranks. That's a good way to succeed. You can, and then maybe branch out on your own, start your own business. But as far as latching on to something like an Amazon or a Netflix or going to work for some university, you got to be there for years, kiss a lot of ass. You got to have the right politics. You can't be very independently minded. They don't like that. So no, California has not given everyone the best chance for a good life here. It used to be a great place to live. And worth every penny for being here. Can't say that anymore. So there's a lot of people that need to ask that question. Like, is my life better? And the answer is no. Are they actually helping the people they say they want to help? No. The people being hurt the most are small business owners. And a lot of small business owners, especially in Los Angeles and here in Southern California, are immigrant-owned businesses. And I mean, like, legal immigrants, doesn't matter. They're immigrant-owned businesses. They're the ones being hit the hardest. Female-owned businesses being hit the hardest. Proving they don't give a shit about your cause. Gavin's a fraud. Always been a fraud. And they almost have enough signatures. Actually, due to his own mistake, they were allowed to extend out the signature time 4 months for his recall effort. Thaleo Mobile for $5. Gary, I think it's time we collectively start referring to big tech as publishers. If the authorities want to play somatic games. Let's play ball. Yep. I agree. Considering what happened to Josiah, even, I'm not aware of her at all. Okay. Belle Delphine, apparently she doesn't act like your regular girl, and she's very open about what she does, and she's more about free expression, which is probably why she's off this platform. But you can't compare Josiah to her. Like, Josiah didn't have any strikes, and he's gone simply because he's conservative and Christian. And because he talked about 2 specific things in a video where he wasn't even specific. But you can run with all kinds of other conspiracies the other way. Ken Barnes for $5 just because. Thanks, Gary. Thanks, Ken. I appreciate it. Back at you. Manowar 665, the neighbor of the beast. Vaccine side effects may cause strong urge for self-deletion and rectal bleeding. I've looked into some of it. I don't know how much I'm going to can't. Yeah. It's rushed. It's rushed. I was watching Dave Chappelle and Joe Rogan talk about it. And, Dave Chappelle wasn't definitive. He was like, I don't know, man. Joe Rogan's like, oh, I'll take it. If the right scientists say I'll take it. And like, that's Hollywood Joe Rogan. Personally, especially with somebody so self-obsessed with his health, I want people to be free again. I want people to go back to work. I want the economy to get going no matter what happens. I want people to keep their jobs. I want them to go back to their lives. But we need to stop thinking that this is going to happen, vaccine or not, because it's not. It's simply not. They've made it very clear that it's not. So if somebody voted a certain way thinking that things are going to go back to normal, they're not. I'm sorry. They will and can when we decide to. Eric July has been covering this perfectly. Absolutely perfectly. I echo damn near everything he says. There's nothing I can really add to it. And his hypothesis of what needs to happen is absolutely correct. And I talk about it in my interview. And I hope if I get in trouble, I get in trouble. Because as you may or may not know, whatever I say off this platform affects me on this platform now. But I can't start checking myself all the time. Now, I am of the belief that you need to be on this platform to be effective, which means I need to be smart about things. I'm still going to talk about what I want to talk about. I'm just going to have to speak in some stupid YouTube code, but I apologize. Hopefully you guys pick up what I'm saying. Speaking of somebody who was not allowed on this platform, and it's not Modelicious for $5, but it's who he talks about. David Icke stated, due to the nature of the lockdown and mask mandate, it is obvious it is not about health. There may not even be a virus. Well, I have listened to David Icke, Modelicious, for quite some time, and I think he's very good at pointing out patterns and picking out conspiracies. I don't agree with his hypothesis at all, but I still like David Icke. I think he's funny. No, I mean, there's something. John Malin, you guys know John Malin. He's in the hospital right now, or was last night, as far as I know. I saw it on Twitter with the coof. My uncle had the coof. So people are getting it for sure. But it's got a 99% recovery rate. And I'm not very good at math. I'm not very good at the maths. I was kicked out of 3 high schools. And I know it works a little differently, but the coof, you have a 99% recovery rate, and the vaccine is 95% effective. I think 99% is better than 95. Now, I'm a big dummy, but that's what I think. Zahardi, welcome to the proto-molecule level and I thank you for your support of the channel. Welcome, sir, to Nerdrotic, the Nerdrotic Network now. Ooh. 200-watt studio for $5. Don't question your government is totally not authoritarian or borderline fascist at all. No, not at all. 200-watt studio. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to stop questioning the government because they told me to. Modelicious, you're beautiful, though. You know I love you. Matt Guy for £2. One thing 2020 has done is show us how ugly Hollywood is. Ugly. Absolutely ugly. And I mean, I start my video by going, Hollywood, you need to listen to me. And you need to listen to us, okay? You need to listen to us before it's too late. We are pissed at you. We are furious with you. You have been divisive. Your constant divisiveness has led to blood on the streets. You own some responsibility. You talk about taking responsibility, you get it. As a matter of fact, I think I might cut in a montage of them going, I take responsibility, with like a bunch of rioting and looting. I don't know how much YouTube's going to like it, but I like it. Yeah. I wonder if I can show you guys a quick preview. Let's see if I can pull this up. Nah, I'll save it. Pirate Tomsky for £5. The vaccine, and Matt Guy, you're right. Hollywood is ugly. They have acted ugly. You're ugly through and through when you want to do something like shame people for wanting to go to work. They always talk about this fucking lip service of empathy. I mean, they don't even know what it means. They don't know how you and I live at all. They are so disconnected. That's why, like, somebody like Gina gets it, because she wasn't always part of the machine. Like, she is a self-made person, and she did her own thing for a while, and she's tough. And then again, I don't want to paint with a broad brush. Kurt Russell is a reason. He's like Hollywood royalty, and he's part of a dying breed, who said we're court gestures, that's it. Like, we're freaking clowns, and that's what we should do. And that's all they should do. I'm not saying don't have your political opinion. By all means, congratulate your guy or gal all day long. Don't care. But it didn't stop there, did it? We had Josh Gad calling basically I got to be careful about this. Everyone from his country of origin, basically calling them, they betrayed that country of origin by supporting a president. And Josh Gad knows this is hyperbole. He knows he's just dialing up to rhetoric to get, those sweet likes on Twitter. And they don't realize, they don't care. And they also don't realize like what damage they're doing. I mean, Josh Gad is dumb. He's a big dummy. And most of them are. These are people who throughout their entire life interpret other people's words for a living. And half the time they don't even know what they're saying. Anytime Harrison Ford sounds smart, it's only because he sounds smart. He's not. Pirate Tomsky for £5. The vaccine for the elitists will be a suppository just because it's another way for them to have us bend over and assume the position. I wouldn't be surprised at all, Pirate. We jest about this, but no, they're getting ready to roll it out, dude. It's in the process, like it's happening, and there are real questions we all got to ask each other. I mean, forget me, like. I'm not sticking that thing in my kid. There's no way that vaccine's being stuck in my kid. Neither of them. Hell no. I love my kids, and they're going to live longer than I am. And I very much need my oldest son to watch out for my youngest son. So no, if anything, I take it first and we see what happens. But there's no way I am putting that. No way. Listen, I used to work in the auto industry. You never buy a car the first year it's introduced. Okay, I did it once, and it wasn't smart, but I did it once. But you're never supposed to do that. So, for example, the new Ford Bronco that's out there looks fucking awesome, but I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to buy the first year. When the Tesla truck, I wanted the Tesla truck, but I wouldn't buy it in its first year because they have a lot of kinks to work out, and they can't work it out until that car till the rubber hits the road. So you never, ever, ever buy a car in the first year it's introduced. You could probably apply that logic to a vaccine. One that was rushed out. So, you know what? Give the vaccine to Hollywood first. I'm okay with it. Super Toad 1 for £5. You got me into the Expanse when I could not find any good sci-fi. So thank you. Oh, you're welcome. And there's only 2 shows left, and it doesn't look like they're long for the world, to be honest with you. The Expanse and the Orville. Now, I hope I'm wrong about the latter. But it got 6 seasons. That's pretty good. I was hoping it would get 7. But I think it could have gone 10. It could have easily gone 10 if they were smart. And I don't know if it was Naren Shankar's decision. It sounds like it was Amazon's decision, because when he was asked directly about it, he seemed kind of, I don't know. And that means weekly. I know some of you hate that. Here's quickly. If a show is released weekly, it could become a water cooler show. It'll have YouTubers talking about it. You can cover each episode. It's great for promotion, and you can always binge it when it's done. You drop a show all at once, you end up wasting your $100 million. And yeah, sure, your show can get popular, and then people stop talking about it within 2 weeks. Umbrella Academy premiered August 31st, and it would have ran for 10 weeks. So that would have brought it into late October. It would have just ended a couple of weeks, 3-4 weeks ago. But nobody even has talked about it in months because it wasn't a great season, and it fell out of the ether in a matter of days. And then you end up wasting your money. So that's why you'll see streaming services, the shows average will be 2 or 3 seasons and they're done. Like The Witcher is only going to go 3 or 4 seasons because Henry Cavill is going to be, he's going to be very popular. Plus he's getting older, and people like big, buff, strong Henry Cavill, which he can't do for very much longer. By the way, you see the picture of Chris fucking Hemsworth? Old dude is huge. He is freaking bigger than he's ever been, like huge. But they can't keep that up. And he's going to want to go do other roles like Superman, I hope. The people here in California do not endorse or approve what dictator Newsom has done to throttle the actual essential worker, says, I want to get this, Ederific USN vet. And thank you for your service, Ederific, for $5. The true essential worker is every worker. Let's talk about, because Daily Caller does talk about that. Let's get to essential. There we go. All right. Once again, I'm not saying I don't want Hollywood to work. Not saying that. I'm saying that when you deem them as essential, when you're elite, I'm trying to point out the optics of this situation, because when you tell somebody they're not essential on a personal level, you're telling that person they don't matter. That is state sanctioned. You don't matter. Think about what that does to somebody. I've watched my wife go through this process, but I can't know how she feels. I've observed it. I feel terrible for her, but there's no way I could touch how terrible she feels. I knew how terrible I felt when I fucked my own business over. I fell off the wagon as long, 7 years. I'm rolling up on 7 years sober now. But yeah, I mean, I did my own business and I felt terrible. So I can't imagine if imagine if your business got burned down, like your business was doing good. Imagine, say you had a sports bar, you're a black man and you had a sports bar in Minneapolis, and then your bar was burned down for what was perceived by the angry mob, what the cops did. What did you, as a black man who owns a sports bar, have to do with any of that shit? I'm not sure, but they punished you for it. And that guy was in tears because he's like, I don't have the money for this. I can't rebuild this shit. And then you have to think about, am I going to rebuild this business in a town where this could happen again? The The local politicians did nothing to stop it, and the cops ran. The cops ran. That was the worst. That was the freaking worst. Ooh, remind me of last summer. But yeah, just imagine how on a personal level, see, nobody talks about that. Hollywood doesn't care about you as a person. They talk about empathy and all that other shit. But what Carrie was talking about a couple Fridays ago, that emotional level, is what Dave talked about with Netflix, and we'll do that one next. He said, it makes me feel bad. And it sounds like something so simple, but it's something people forget. The very distinction of essential suggests that there are some people who simply aren't necessary. When everyone's job is essential to them and their families. My wife's job was essential to my son, to both my sons, to me. It was essential to my mortgage. It was essential to now the mortgage and rent I have to pay. It was also essential to my mom's rent, which I pay, because my poor elderly mother is very sick and she needs to be taken care of, and she cannot afford it herself. So it's my job to do that, and I do it. So I imagine there's probably another person in my position out there who was had a family member lose a business or a job, but then you got to still take care of another family member, and we don't get PPP money or any of that. Not that I want it, because I don't want any federal fucking money, and I don't know how this shit gets paid for. Oh, by the way, we all get to pay for a big Hollywood fucking bailout pretty soon to the tunes of billions of dollars. By the way, this was all. And where is it? Where is it? Is this it? Nope, that's not it. I'm looking for this. Are you going to show me the pictures? No. I can't find the pictures now. Oh, I know where to find them. Hang on. Give me a moment. Gavin Newsom. We played his apology, but I just want to remind everybody that just a few short days ago, he was, there it is. At a restaurant inside with medical lobbyists from the CMA, which are the people who are overseeing all of our lockdowns, and those are all his advisors. I was told the alcohol bill for this dinner, somebody emailed it to me, was $15,000. $15,000. An alcohol bill for 12 mother effing people. They were so loud that they had to close the sliding glass door. We already went through the menu, which has the lowest price. You have to pay $350 in advance, non-refundable, for your deposit on your meal. That will cost anywhere between $600 to $1,100 to $1,200. There's Gav right there. Oops, where'd it go? There he is right there. That's his wife. And it was with a medical lobbyist. And he initially lied. He said this dinner was outside, and it was inside. There's no masks. A couple days later, he imposed a curfew. Let me show you something else. I have to look for, maybe he should have burned down a Walgreens. There it is, right here. This is a video from Perez Hilton. Can you see it? Yep.
ACLU is fine. Get off the street. Go home. Use in effect. Go home. Go home or you're getting arrested. You're under arrest. Curfew.
Curfew.
You're under arrest.
What do I do?
Get down.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Stop resisting.
Resist.
Stop resisting.
You guys are putting your knee in me.
Go
Get your
home.
knee on.
Stop resisting.
Get your knee
Give me
on.
your arm.
No.
Give me your arm. Do it now. Go home, please. There's a curfew. This person's under arrest. Hey, guys. All right.
Yeah, but that's not.
Stay back from me. You can record. Just stay back, all right?
It's a family
There's
zone.
nothing wrong with that.
I know
Stop
that.
resisting or you're going to get tased.
What the fuck? Get off me and you can handcuff.
You are under arrest. Stop resisting.
I can't help it. You got so many guys on me. I can't.
You can't move. My hope would be that to the cops that so many people supported out there, don't act like a bunch of jackbooted freaking thugs and do that shit. Obviously they look like they were dressed for riots, and yeah, I know, I hear you. Where in the fuck were they during the riots and looting? Oh, they're running. They were running, but they can come after you and me. They can come after you and me for fucking curfew. So, yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem that we're, well, we'll find out. Like, I'm not obeying any curfews. I'm not telling you what to do. Don't break any laws. Don't do anything wrong. But, yeah, if I want to go somewhere, I'll fucking go. Hey, Gary, love your channel. Are you going to talk about the poop show of 616 Marvel's Dan Slott's documentary? What are your thoughts? Love from Mexico. All right. Max Lands Roads for 50 Mexican pesos or dollars. Sorry. I did watch it and wow, it was supposed to be cutesy, right? It was supposed to be this thing where it showed the little hobbit Dan Slott. And it showed him for being a complete loser and he needs help. And the fact that his writing sucks so much anyway, and he's got so much help. I mean, explain Marvel. It was kind of funny. It was kind of funny. We're going to go over it on Friday Night Tights because I'm going to show the video. Because guess what? I got to give Disney credit. They don't really copyright strike. They haven't hit me once, ever. So, and I put clips from The Mandalorian in my video and they didn't care. So yeah, I got to give them credit for that. And maybe if other companies would learn from that. Akunin 1876 for 5. Ooh, what's a BNG? I have no idea what a BNG. We'll just say 5 binges. Hail Gary, FYI, those are Bulgarian pesos. Oh, thank you. Much love to you and your family. Stay strong, and you stay strong in Bulgaria. We have people watching in Bulgaria. That's brilliant. Yeah, you know what? Somebody sent me some analytics, and they said I am like, I don't know how they got them, by the way, because I have no idea. But my podcast is huge in Eastern Europe. So thank you, Eastern Europe, for listening to my podcast. I like it. Zahardi, thank you for the 10 Australian dollars. I appreciate it. Bogey, 780 for $5. Glenn Larson's Buck Rogers dropped this week on Blu-ray. Who needs woke content? Even cheesy old content is more entertaining than new woke content. It's been out on Blu-ray, hasn't it? Oh, maybe that was DVD. Well, I got to get that. I have some Buck Rogers toys I need to hang up. Yeah, it's terrible, but I love it. Listen, Wilma Deering helped me through puberty. Erin Gray, one of the most beautiful women ever created. I got to meet her at Comic-Con, and she was cool. She was sitting there by herself, so I paid, I think $40 for 2 autographs, and nobody showed up, so we just sat there. I can't even remember what we talked about. We chit-chatted for about 30 minutes. Super cool. I mean, at the time, she looked like Erin Gray as a soccer mom, which was still really hot. So, Flicks by Cody for $5. I like The Expanse, but it seems rushed. I feel the characters could have been more developed. It's the first good sci-fi show in a long time, I think. Flicks by Cody, it was rushed towards the end. If you compare the first 2 seasons to the last 2, it is rushed. The Clown World Review for $5. I don't hate Bezos, but I wish he would quit going after Superman. It took me a second to get that. I agree. I think Bezos has Superman all wrong. The Mirrorsphere Origins, what's up? How's it going? Welcome to the Jaloja level. How's the book going, dude? I haven't seen you in a while. Is the book finished? Do we have a completed project yet? I want to see it. Eskimonofono for $2. Hello, good Sir Gary, and hello, Eskimonofono. Back at you. Jason C., welcome to the Jaloja level. There will be a member stream Thursday night. Please join us, okay? You guys can participate. If you're a member, I throw you the link. We come and talk. I'm going to bring one of those to public at one point, too. I think they're pretty good streams, actually. Dana Bailey for $3. Thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate it. Fire Knight 013 for $5. Giving you the money I'll be saving from my Amazon Prime subscription. Well, yeah, with the boys going woke and Eric Kripke being a freaking idiot. We've been saving a lot of money. We've been saving a lot of money. We have. All right, let's go. Let's listen to Chappelle, shall we? Again, politically, whatever. We're talking about Hollywood in this instance. And he gives some pretty decent insight. I'm sorry, we're going to have to go to TMZ for this. Hopefully, I don't get a copyright strike on this, but whatever. It's really long, so I'm going to try to get it. Basically, what happened was Dave Chappelle was screwed out of the Chappelle show, and he signed a contract. He acknowledges that, and then he says, but he doesn't get a cent from it at all, and they don't have to ask him to run it. And no, he signed the contract, but he gives this context on a human level. This whole we signed the contract thing doesn't mean you need to honor it to the letter all the time. You can be human beings, especially since Dave's a different man when he signed that contract, and it's probably one you want to keep happy because he's one of the few comedians who still has respect, and he has a lot of juice in Hollywood, and he fucking pulled it big time. So I guess CBS Viacom sold off the Chappelle show. Now, I think they're still showing it on CBS, but they're allowing other streaming services, including HBO Max and Netflix, to show them. And this has been happening for that. Yeah, you can go watch stuff on multiple platforms. And that's a way for CBS Viacom to make a little extra money. Remember, CBS Viacom is connected to the Roddenberry Foundation, and they are all about Black Lives Matter. They think Black Lives Matter. They really believe Black Lives Matter. So much so that they fired Walter Mosley out of the writer's room at Star Trek Discovery. So I guess that Black Life didn't matter. And guess what? This Black Life doesn't matter either. When he's asked them repeatedly, hey, can we talk? Because he even says in this, I'm thinking about doing another Chappelle show. Fuck yeah, I want another Chappelle show. But he can't because CBS Viacom owns his name and likeness. Now, he could do one like it, I'm sure. But he's offered to talk. He's all, you need to make me feel better. In other words, they need to come back and probably give him a lot of scratch because he knows how much that show made and how little he made. Now, was it a lesson learned? Sure. And you sign a contract, sure. But I think there's like a human thing where you can go back and rework deals. We just saw this with Alan Dean Foster, who hasn't got fucking paid from Star Wars since they purchased it from Lucasfilm. And where the hell are you, George? George Lucas, I'm talking to you because I know you're watching. Help your boy out, Alan Dean Foster. He made you look good. Remember when that novel was written by you, but it really wasn't? How could George not get involved in this? How come George can't go to Bob Iger and say, pay fucking Alan Dean Foster? So I hear David Chappelle's argument, and well, we'll go into this. He talks about life lessons, and he says something really good in here. And it made me think of Josiah as he's leading up to this argument. He was talking about this guy on the street doing a little card game. You're supposed to pick the red card and it's all a scam. You know, all the people people cheering on the game, they're all this guy's friends and it's scam. And he pointed it out. And the guy almost kicked his ass, but he saw he was a kid and he was scared. So the guy said, don't ever come in between a man and his meal. And he said, yeah, I learned that lesson immediately. Don't ever get in between a man or a woman and their fucking money. Don't ever fuck with the money, but don't ever fuck with the man's money. And it's a lesson that Hollywood needs to learn. And I think Netflix, as fucking scummy as they are, did the right thing when it comes to him.
But they hate the monster for how it fucks. And I hate that monster for how it eats. But my God, man, it's the same monster.
Okay, everybody wants to make it this great. Everybody wants to give their best. George Lucas had to somehow get the best out of everybody and explain what the heck a Jedi is. Favreau. And it's so overwhelming to think about. Filoni, it's a miracle when you think of it this way. To think of the challenges we face. We're taking it from here to here. He took it from nothing to this. Yes, then we're talking about George. At the same time, and this is Filoni, at the same time, it can also hurt us because people almost put too much grandiose importance on things that should be fun and light or should be allowed to play. Yes, it's Star Wars, but if we lose focus on it being this exciting adventure that's mainly directed at kids, as George always held to that, then we're changing it into something it's not meant to be because we're trying to cherish it so much we're holding it onto it too tight. Yeah, I mean, I'm not the biggest Filoni fan. But yes, George has always said Star Wars is made for kids, and I've always said George was wrong. George is wrong. George's work outgrew him. I was there. I was a kid when it came out. But Star Wars didn't really speak to me until later, right? Until I was like 13, when The Empire Strikes Back came out. That wasn't a movie made for kids. That was a movie where George didn't have a ton to do with. He was there, but he was going through his divorce, I believe. Irving Kershner was there and Gary Kurtz was there. So George is Bob Kane. George is Bob Kane. He loves taking all the credit for a lot of shit he didn't do. And it's time for people to start recognizing that. George is a shitty storyteller when it comes to the details. He's a great idea man. And as far as what he's done technically in Hollywood, there is no equal. Absolutely no equal. What he was able to accomplish with the help of a lot of talented people he was surrounded with. But yeah, and I've said it in my reviews of The Mandalorian, that's as sophisticated as it's going to get. I gave that episode a positive. I hope you guys caught the whole tongue-in-cheek thing, but I liked it because of Gina. That's it. I don't care about Star Wars. I will no longer care about Star Wars. It is dead to me. And what Dave says at the end of this, we're going to play because it's all connected. We're talking about fans here. Let's get to what Dave says at the end.
If you ever liked me, if you ever think there was anything worthwhile about me, I'm begging you, please don't watch that show. Boycott me.
And that's, again, CBS Viacom. I don't apologize for David Chappelle's salty language, Mama Susan. Speaking of Mama Susan, you know where I got that term from? It belongs to somebody else. A great YouTuber called It's a Gundam. You guys familiar with It's a Gundam? It's a Gundam will be joining us on Friday Night Tights this Friday. It's going to be a fucking huge show. I am pumped up for this one. I am excited. So be sure to tune in. We'll be on time. All hail Roddick and the chat. Thank you, Jay Carr, for $2.99. I appreciate that. Modalicious for $5. I don't take new vaccines for the same reason I don't buy the first line of a new console. 70 years, no flu vaccine. 2 and 8 months. Nah. Modalicious, bless you. I have not taken a flu shot since the first and last one I ever took in 2006 when I ended up. Now I've had the flu since, okay, but it was only once after that. But I ended up in the hospital on an IV. So I never went back. Now the worst time I've had the flu, I was incarcerated. I had the flu, a severe that turned into an infection of some kind. I lost 70 pounds, 70. I was 210 when I walked in. When I walked into this facility, I was actually for a speed addict. I got really big. I was 230, but then started getting in shape. I was 210 when I got sick. And when I was done, I was 140 pounds and I looked like I came back from a concentration camp. I have pictures of that somewhere. I was in the prison hospital for a month. It sucked. And yeah, all I was thinking about is I'm going to die in here. I'm going to fucking die in here. Glad I didn't. Oddity for $5. I love you, Gary. Happy Thanksgiving. And Fook Gavin Newsom and California. Woo, America. I love America. I do. I haven't been to every country. I've been to a lot of countries, and there's a lot of brilliant countries out there. Oh my God, I loved Italy. I love England. But what this country has gave me the opportunity to do, I don't know if that would have happened anywhere else. This is the land of second chances. It used to be. I don't know what's happened to that. Americans are a sucker, and I am too, for a good redemption tale. But we need to provide paths to redemption. And of course, I'm not talking about the extreme cases. I'm talking about the regular folk, like Cas Anvar. What exactly did he do? Does he have a path to redemption? Could you have put him in the 6th season? I don't know. Roseanne Barr. Is there a path of redemption? Can she go back to her show that you were making tons of money off? I don't know. Phil Moore for $5. Warren Ellis. Is there who knows? Phil Moore for $5. I read that there was a law passed, not sure what state, that gave permission to doctors to vaccinate a parent's kid without the parent's consent. What? Nah, that's unconstitutional. That is unconstitutional. Not in this, well, they have, you know what, Phil? I sit corrected. They've already passed a bunch of laws that were unconstitutional, and that might come to bite them in the ass when the election hits the Supreme Court. Stay tuned on that one. Don't want to get people's hopes up or down. I'm just saying, I did a video on it. YouTube hated it. Thank you guys for watching the video. Despite it being no notifications going out, none. Like the last California video I did pretty damn well. It's at like 92,000 when nobody heard about it. This is all shit test. This is all a shit test that a lot of us keep failing. Eskimo phone for $2. Yeah. Well, the game is rigged, buddy. I mean, you got to remember that. So, Hail Gary, happy Thanksgiving, master of nerds. Loquacious Primate for $2. Oh, I'm just a regular old nerd, just like you, Loquacious. Dude, you're a nerd. Elderific, USN vet for $5. I believe that anyone who provides for their family is considered essential. That's what I meant. Exactly. Oh, I completely agree with you. Ederific, I completely agree with you. Police brutality for $5. Maybe if he spent as much time on his policy as he did on his hair, California wouldn't be the crap-ridden cesspool that it is now. Good point. Police brutality for $5 more. Those aren't cops. They're punks who have broken their oath. Exactly. When they run, yep. Cody Duffin for $5. Just banned from Twatter for telling Lucasfilm to let KK die. Kill it if you have to. A direct quote from Star Wars, LOL. And maybe they took it a little too seriously, Cody. I don't think they should have. But look at Cody. That's a blessing. You've been banned off Twitter. I would wear that with a badge of honor and never go back. Zahardi for $5 Australian. Rural living is pretty sweet right now. Just saying. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm like not in a, I'm in a town. I'm in a town that's 30 miles away from a massive city, and that's 100 miles away from another massive city. But like the country, I can see the country from here. I can look out and I can see mountains. There's a giant cactus outside my window. Yeah. I can't wait to get out in the middle of nowhere. Fat Steven Seagal beat up AOC for 2 Canadian pesos. Man, Fat Steven Seagal is kicking the shit out of a lot of people. And that's a good thing. We must escape through a red panda arse to freedom. Maybe that's what they're saying. But what Mark C is saying, it's kind of interesting that you have to stick a finger in a panda's poop chute to go to a different world. Ed Rojas for $5. Hail, Gary. Much love from Costa Rica. Oh, SJWs are running rampant down here. My God, you live in Costa Rica is where SJWs go to retire, to become full-fledged SJWs. It's where they get their SJW wings. I mean, like, isn't your biggest export hemp? I'm just kidding, but it's running rampant down here, trying to fight the good fight for common sense sake. Run to the middle of the jungle, Ed. You know where the common sense is? The Amazonian tribes. They know what's up. They're actually the smart ones. And I'm not kidding about this. They are the smart ones. We're the dumb ones. Mikey Gussler, welcome to the Gelogia membership. Join a member stream. We also got 2 people joining up. Vlad Afonin. Is it Afonin? Thank you, Vlad. I love your first name. And Nightwolf 899, both at proto-molecule levels. Frank Dest, thank you for the $5 donation. I appreciate it. Sarah B for $5. Hail, Gary. Thanks for sharing the preview of the new curfew expansion pack for the Communism 2020 free twat. That's good. For the Communism 2020 free trial. But I'd like to go ahead and cancel, please. I'm sorry, Sarah. You can't cancel. The Communism 2020 free trial has now become a permanent one. And you no longer matter. The corpse formerly known as my ex-wife for $5. Come to North Idaho, brother. Hope you have a great Thanksgiving. I am thinking about it. I mean, Texas is number 1, but I'm worried that Texas is going to flip. I really am. And I need to go solid red. And I've gotten some criticism for that. And I'm not above criticism. But to my friends who are concerned, the blue states are going to be the more authoritative. I want to be in the least authoritative situation possible. Now, they like to point out pot as far as, I don't think pot should be illegal. And I think that is a stance that the hardcore right is going to soften on because a lot of libertarians think it should be legal. It doesn't bother me. I don't like it, but it doesn't bother me. but I don't smoke it. I want to go somewhere where, okay, so it's against the law for me to smoke pot, but I would like it very much if I could go outside. See, because I think the authoritative state would love for all of us to be doped up to the gills on opioids, fucking smoking pot and sitting in our houses and never leaving. Now, if you want to partake once in a while and have a good time, good. By all means, go do it. But I'd like to leave my house and start my business and not have to sign, freaking a million licenses and give, 60% of my money up in taxes. No, thanks. No, thanks. So that's why, I want to go. I don't want any government being authoritative. I want to be left alone mostly. I think that's what most of us want. Tracy Wilborn for $2. Hola from the communist island of New Mexico. There was a time I really wanted to move there, Tracy. I love New Mexico. It's a freaking brilliant state, but dude, a lot of space hippies over there. Bama Grad for $5. Gary, I hope you and your family have a great and glorious Thanksgiving full of good and warmth, love of family and friends near and far. Bama Grad, thank you. I hope you hang out with a lot of family members, 4 to 5 households at least. I hope you all gather, don't get the coof, eat a lot of turkey, eat a lot of stuffing, and don't bring up politics maybe. Just try not to. John Crichton 2.0. Welcome to the Geloja membership. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Senior, I just lost it. Senior Nusano for $5. Off topic, what is your opinion on the old creepy and eerie mags? I used to love those things when I was a lad. EC Comics, some of the greatest comics ever written. And it is some of the most prized comics in my collection and some of the most expensive too. But I love them and I love the reprints. No, they were the best. They brought the comic code. So Swinging Cod for $5. Yeah, it's a Gundam. Will be as big a show as Uncle Ethan. Let Papa Gundam go off. Papa Gundam can come on my show and do whatever he wants. I've been looking forward to this. I love that channel. Drunk 3PO for $5. Happy Thanksgiving, brother. Much love to you and your family. And right back at you, Drunk 3PO. And thank you, man. Drunk 3PO is awesome. Shout out to Drunk 3PO. Rebecca Gold. What's up, Ian? How's it going? Hey, Saturday, if you're available. For £5. They need Captain Jack to boost the ratings. Happy Thanksgiving and Merry Christmas, mate. Yes, I didn't get to talk about Captain Jack. I'm not going to do a video. I'll save it for Saturday for part 2 of Fury of the Whovians. If you guys are available, I will shoot you a time within the next 24 hours if you can make it. And I'm flexible that day, so we can work something out to get Noel, Ian. Problem being, these are just off the top of my head. Blue Bonnet Whovian, Svi, if he can make it, Bulls Trek, the usual suspect, Az, if he can make it, freaking Drinker, if he can make it. Drinker's a busy guy, though. Oh, Drinker. I know you're watching. I've got all his books now. I'll post them on Twitter. Dude. Drinker will be working in Hollywood sooner than later. And that might be a good thing. Meredith Glassberg for $10. DC passes a law that allowed kids to get vaccines without parents' permissions. Holy shit. Well, Washington, D.C.? It makes no sense since kids are low risk with COOF. When H1N1 was around, vaccines were limited to higher risk folks. That's fucking unbelievable. Washington, D.C. That's scary, dude. Awesome, Ian. Awesome. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for the £5. You didn't have to respond with that, but yeah, better be there. Holy shit. No, I'm disturbed right now. I like Washington, D.C. passed a law where they can vaccinate your kids without, if fucking anybody from the state puts their grubby little fucking hands on my kid, war. It's fucking war. So no, I wouldn't recommend you do that. Oh, no. I will go back. I will go back inside. I will happily go back inside if somebody puts their fucking hands on my kid. You want to see a return to the old way. Dingleberry Farm says, happy Thanksgiving. Thank you to you. Sorry, I'm a little frazzled by that one. Cornelius Brunius for $5. On a scale of 1 to woke as fuck, how SJW do you think The Matrix 4 will be? Are you excited or over that franchise? Over it. Over it. The first one was a great film. I love it. I kind of like the second one. It's done. Okay, I got to watch my time here. The UPS store, you guys have been very generous with the P.O. box. They just called me and said, get your shit out of our store. It's taking over our store. So I don't know what people have been sending, but thank you. Dingleberry Farms for $2 says, happy Thanksgiving back at you. Bob252 for $5. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Jack White, the last rock star, Jack White from the White Stripes. Gary, you said you are actually less informed watching the mainstream media. Why do you say that, and how do I convince my boomer father of that? You are less informed because you're constantly being lied to. So they will mix some truths with some lies, making it just a constant IV of misinformation. What you do is your own research. You don't sit back and let the state and the official version of events, because most of this comes from the Associated Press. The Associated Press and Reuters supply all of the news agencies with their news, and they basically read it verbatim. I don't know how you wake your dad up. I don't know. It's a personal journey, honestly. So you need to understand that this is commercial news. They're being paid for it. They need to keep you scared. They need to keep you watching. And they used to take the government to task. Now, if the media is as hard on Biden as they were on Trump, then you can make an argument that they're not biased, but they're not going to be. They're going to treat Biden like he's Jesus. So I say you're better off turning it off and going and finding out. There is raw information out there that takes a little bit of work, and you find it. That's my best suggestion. Lavish Patch Kid for $10. When the government used to use the term essential worker, just like in Schindler's List, it was obvious the coup was all a show by the same people who made the movie. Yep. So the coup is real. Okay. Coup is real. And it was used at I'm forgetting his name now. His brother's the agent. It doesn't matter. You never let a good crisis go to waste. Ever. Looking forward to Vegas. How we find you when I'm there? Well, at NK33, if Vegas doesn't shut down, it looks like they might lock down the casinos. If they lock down the casinos, that's it. I'm going to have to pull the plug. But if they don't lock down the casinos, the one I'm staying in is Planet Hollywood. All right. So I'm staying at Planet Hollywood. We're still looking for a place that we need a venue that will allow 50 people. Right now, the closest we can find is 20 people, and that number is shrinking. But NK33, pay attention. Always, everybody, pay attention to my community section, Parler, and Twitter. Now, I favor Parler over Twitter now. So I go to Parler first with my information. People have said Parler's a little too political. I think it's starting that way because, you know what, those politics weren't welcome anywhere. But I've never had a problem talking about my pop culture stuff over there. So you can follow me. I'll bring up some California stuff and pop culture stuff. And guess what? I've never seen a warning. You have 1,000 characters. You can get an actual point across. Yeah, it's got a lot to work out because it's new. It's got some problems loading videos. I don't like the DM thing. I think they need to open that up a little bit, but they're improving. Fred W. Monzo, thank you for the thumbs up super sticker. I appreciate it. Hardwick Bento for $2. Please read. Oh, I read that one. So yeah, because it jumped on me there. Ian Aldridge for $10. Movies only cost that much to make because they have huge tax write-offs hiring 50,000 people. Nowadays, they can make something loaded with CGI for a couple of million, especially hiring with new talent. Well, here's the problem, Ian. I mean, you're not entirely wrong, but here's the problem. Everybody's a union worker in Hollywood, and they cost 3 times more than they should. And there's also, you wouldn't believe the union parameters that always change in Hollywood that force you to have certain types of workers. So you can't have just like one line producer. It's got to be 2, or, I mean, I'm just pulling something out of my ass. That's not exactly it, but there's like so many constrictions on because they've gamed the system, right? So Hollywood's going to have to get rid of unions if they're going to be profitable. And trust me, if they can get rid of them, they can't. I mean, the gig worker is something that the state and Hollywood probably hate and unions hate, but that's what's taking over right now. I don't think genre will end. It's been around since ancient Greece. It'll survive but evolve. Stage acting is still popular but not normie nip, says Lady Greymaster for $5. I don't think genre is going to die. I don't think genre will be the toast of Hollywood. It will not be the most important thing. Right now, genre guides all storytelling. It's the biggest thing out there, and it's what people follow. Genre will always be around, but it was never this big. It's always been this big. The era of the nerd is ending. It's going to be too expensive to make these type of shows. You'll still make them, but they won't be the most important thing out there. It'll get taken over by something else. Crazy Cat Guy. Good job. Thank you. Thank you again for the ice cream, Crazy Cat Guy. And Legalized Adulthood. Thank you again for the $50 super chat. Nathaniel Larson. Gary, can I request a love stream campaigning trip to Skinwalker Ranch for Exozone? Would love it. You mean a live stream? I could do a love stream too. I don't know how well that would work in Skinwalker Ranch. Yeah, I'd go there. Fuck yeah, I'd go there. Not your wheelhouse, but Thundercats is canceled. Thundercats 0 for £2. Seeing that Cal Arts fucking trash get canceled is my wheelhouse. I love it. I love it. As an RMB are discussing The Prisoner, second to last episode. Ooh, well, watch that live stream. Hail Gary, I love. Thank you again, Sci-Fi Freak for $5 in Thundercats Ho. Hail Gary, I love Nerdrotic. I can always catch the streams, and I don't have time to watch them all the way through. Yes, you can. You love, and thank you for loving Nerdrotic Daily. Subscribe to Nerdrotic Daily and Nerdrotic Live. Hey Gary, have you seen the monolith in Utah? And no, the state wants it to be, they want to remove it. That sucks. He said he doesn't care if man or aliens put it there. They broke the law. Adam Wolford, I did a video on it on Nerdrotic Daily. That's why you need to subscribe there, because I did a video on it. Thank you for the $10. In a way, I actually like some of Alien Predator 1. Well, it's not terrible. I just don't like it very much. But out of all of them, I'd probably rewatch that again, Empty, for £2. Ian Slater, what's up, for $2? Clownfish TV called Kenobi Obi's Angels. Haha, that's good. That's good. I call it Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's simple, but it's there. Ian Slater, thank you for being a truck driver. We appreciate you. In Industry Sinks, do you expect the Lifeboats viable franchise will be reserved for the woke brigade, like the decent pushed out first? And this is from Zahardi for $5 Australian. As the industry sinks, do you think the Lifeboats viable franchises will be reserved for the woke brigade? No, they'll be reserved for the elitists. You're already starting. I'm going to put this in my video. You're starting to see the centrists separate from the useful idiots, the rioters, the looters, the Alyssa Milanos, the Sci-Fi Geek Girls. They're getting rid of all these people. Bill Maher fired that shot 2 weeks ago when he started calling out his own in the Democratic Party. Stop saying Latinx. Stop canceling people. That is the Democratic Party getting rid of their useful idiots. Problem is, too late. You are connected. And that's what he was worried about. Well, buddy, you need to call that shit out. You were perfectly okay with it as long as... See, Hollywood had it in their mind that they were actually fighting white supremacy. Some did. They actually thought they were out there fighting this thing that didn't exist. And now that they perceive that it's over, they're like, ooh, shit. Maybe we went a little over the line on this one. Yeah, you did. And there's no coming back. Dana Bailey, thank you for the thumbs up and the $3. Jason C, thank you again for joining up. All right. If I missed a super chat, forgive me, but I do have to go. I got to go to the UPS store. Super Todd, welcome to the Proto-Molecule level. It's been you guys have been great today. Like, you have been phenomenal. The chat has been phenomenal. The Modrotics were phenomenal. This has been a fun stream. I hope you enjoyed it. Probably my first stream where an N-bomb was dropped by, so sorry about that, but that's Dave Chappelle. And I'm going to keep it in there because I do not edit Dave Chappelle. I never watch the mainstream. I go to Tim Pool and Joe Rogan and people like them. Jack White for $5. That's what I do. And I mean, Tim Pool is, Tim, I know you're watching. I don't mean this in any offense, but he's milquetoast. I mean, that's why he's so he's good at what he does. He's damn good at what he does. And he's very good at, I don't want to say milquetoast. He's very good at maneuvering verbally you have to do a lot of verbal gymnastics on this platform. And he is probably one of the best at it. And that's why he's been able to survive and talk about things like a lot of us feel like we can't. So I'm glad there's somebody out there talking about it. That's why I like Tim. I thought the Quartering did a pretty good job on the podcast. I like Joe Rogan. I don't agree with them all the time. I think, when he's not talking about like freaking drugs, I like him. So Imperial Lumpia for $5. Oh, I'm 100% with you, Gary. While I'm not a dad myself, if anyone comes near my friend's kids, over my dead fucking body. Yep. Over my dead fucking body will you touch my kid. And I don't know what a parent would allow their fucking, that's why, this, I don't even want to go in the issue, but you know what I'm talking about. Keep your grimy state hands off of our personal property, off of our bodies, off of everything. Keep them out. Radford, thank you for the super sticker for $10. I appreciate you. Thank you, everyone. We're out. Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. There will be another video probably coming out tonight after I get back. I have a lot to do within the next hour because my gym closes in an hour too. So I got to go there first and then the UPS store. So thank you. I had a good time today. I'll see you on Friday Night Tights with It's a Gundam, and I'll probably go live again tomorrow. Star Trek Discovery review, and then we'll talk about some other stuff too. So thank you again. Be good to each other. Not all who wander are lost, and may the wings of liberty never lose a feather.
Nerderotic.com.
Thank you again, everyone. Y'all have a good night. Thanks to Perry Chan.
I'll eat your ass. I will. I will eat your ass.